Hi Cancer, welcome to my channel. This is your weekly tarot for August 8th through the 15th, 2019. I hope your July went well. Alright, here we go. Six of Swords. Oh, nice. We got Judgment. Beautiful. We got the Hierophant. We've got the Four of Swords. Let me do it this way. I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. And we have got the Five of Cups. All right, let me get, I'm a little bit crooked here. I'm just going to straighten it out and then bring this down for us, okay? All right. A little bit crooked. Okay. Anyway, okay, so here we are. So we have the Six of Swords. We have Judgment. We have the Hierophant. We have Four of Swords, and we have the Five of Cups. And they're all upright. That's really interesting. So, sometimes these seem like they're the continuation of a previous reading, don't you think? It's really interesting. But, so, this Six of Swords is, it's when you're moving to a safe place. You're either leaving somewhere or going towards somewhere. But I was laughing because I just realized that her head is connected to the balloon, and it's like inflated the balloon. So I thought that was kind of funny because I'm air sign, and you know, this is swords, so like, we can inflate our own balloon to take us to the next place. Anyway. But you're a Cancer, right? So anyway, but here's the moon, right? Here's the moon with the secrets and the emotions. But I think it's interesting, too. We've got, you know, the world's on fire over here. And even though it's sparse, it still isn't on fire. So could mean that you're going on a vacation. You're going across water. It could also mean that you're finally moving to a safe place. And I don't say finally, just because of the previous readings. Again, this could resonate with you or someone you're dealing with, all or in part, okay? Okay, so there we are. So we'll start there. And then we have Judgment. So the Judgment card, this is really great because this is like you're almost at the end of this lesson. So these guys are like, whew, they're being resurrected again to move to the next lesson, so they will be given life again. So it's kind of like, yeah, like given life again. So they have their previous lessons they learned, and when it's, the next card is the World, okay? So here, basically, the pain and whatever you needed to leave, you understand why you had to leave. You understand why that was important. And there was a lesson that you integrated into your life and that you can take with you. Okay? So now we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is, there's a lot of meanings to all the cards, of course, but the Hierophant is, keep in mind that he's divinely guided, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. But also, this is represented by structures, is what I'm trying to say. I'm really tongue-tied. I'm so sorry. Represented by structures. Okay, so it could be like the political system. It could be a large company. It could be religion. It could be something that's already organized and kind of established. Could be even marriage, you know? So, but it also can be higher wisdom. It could be being led by spirit. So, we'll leave it at that and keep moving on here. So now we have the Four of Swords. So this is kind of a timeout. It could be rest and recovery. It could be, and it could be from an illness. It could be from an addiction. It could be from a toxic relationship. But it's like, I got this sword here, you know, and I'm, you know, it's just time to rest and re-energize. Kind of think about the lessons, but that's kind of all part of this, right? And then we have the regret. So, if this is you, that is, and these are cups, so, you know, it's water, which is love, or regret about love. Maybe you're experiencing regret about not making the decisions that had you where you're coming from, but we're going to find out more information. Maybe you're beating yourself up for the decisions you made that got you in the place where you had to leave. But this was part of the lesson. And you have these 2 cups here. Those are still full and they're intact. So sometimes we do have to walk away from situations because that's part of the lesson. That we don't stay in places where we're not happy. Or where it's dangerous. There's so many reasons where we're being taken advantage of. There's so many reasons not to stay in a relationship, but there's also great reasons to stay and try. Once we've exhausted those, we have to do ultimately what's right for us and our family and the children, especially the children. Okay. And really, it is right for the other person if you stop engaging so they can't continue their codependent or their abuse or their addiction or whatever it is. Because it kind of messes up their game, and so they get to look at it, you know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 6 of Swords over there on the left side to see what that's all about, okay? So, we have the 5 of Pentacles, so it's getting past being shut out, maybe, you know, moving on yourself instead of being, you know, choosing to leave instead of being forced out or feeling on the outside because you're making the choice yourself that probably would appear to feel different at this time. Okay, and then we have the 8 of Wands, and now there's no communication. It looks like no more communication with what was going on. Maybe where you're leaving, the communication has stopped. Sometimes it's the best if it's not positive communication. And if you're having to leave because of, you know, a relationship where you can't stay, sometimes it's not, communication isn't the best thing. Okay, so now we have the Empress. So, Judgment, and this is with the Judgment. So, excuse me. Empress is like someone being in, it's like you being in your own power. So you've learned a lot. You've incorporated a lot of your lessons. You know who you are. You know you have the ability to build and you have great abundance and you know how to take care of your family. You know how to give love, nurture. It's just really, you're in a good space. And so you feel, you know, you can celebrate because you're safe, you learned your lesson, and you know who you are. So that's incredible. That's great. I'm going to continue on here. Hierophant, Tower. So when I said structures and marriage, established systems, I'm not sure what that triggered in you, but let me ask you if that was what was taken down. The marriage you thought you had, the relationship you thought you had, the connection you thought you had, and then circumstances happened and you realize that you didn't have what you thought you had. So, because it's really interesting that, you know, the other party in situations, it's like, sometimes it's like we don't even know who they are, but worse than that, they don't know who they are. And so that's how that happens. If you don't know who you are, how are you going to build a solid foundation? You don't even have one with yourself. Okay, so it's strength reverse. So basically, you don't have the strength to do the honorable thing, do the traditional thing. And it's both both sides. So maybe the person didn't have the strength to stay in this relationship or stay in the commitment, whether it was a business commitment, spiritual commitment. So therefore, you couldn't either. I mean, it's contracts are two-sided, you know, and you didn't have you can't change what somebody's not willing to look at, and it's not our place to change anybody anyway. And, you know, if we could catch ourselves in the earlier stages, it would help us. But that's what the lessons are about. If they're painful enough, we'll go, okay, wait a minute. What am I doing here? You know, it's about calibrating your life to make it easier, and so you can be more conscious of everything around you. Okay, so 4 of Swords. Let's look at that. So Wheel of Fortune, that's a change of fate. So I'm going to pull another card. And then the Star. Okay. So maybe in the state of rest and recuperation, rehabilitation, you realized what was going on, what happened. And that this was the best thing for you to move past this. Or to find your place again. And you realize that during this time of quiet, you could see things changing already. That this, like you jumped off the wheel of madness or abuse, or, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, it's just what's coming through. Abuse or this chaos, okay? Not that somebody's mad, you know. It's like the things that don't make sense. Living in a place where it doesn't make sense. So you realize that you actually change your fate, you know, you change your karma. And what happens is you start creating it from a different place because you can see things different. And you can see that you can still make your dreams come true. The Star is like, it's a wish card, but it's better than that. It's like the promise of your wish being fulfilled. And it's coming from spirit. You're being spiritually guided. And also, I wanted to say, the Hierophant, even though somebody couldn't stay with the structure, the Hierophant, remember, they are spiritually guided. You know, so sometimes when people step in the 3D world, they want to take charge. And sometimes we have the illusion that we're in charge, but it might just all be part of that lesson. There's many illusions on many levels. So let's talk about the 5 of Cups here. I'll talk about beating ourselves up about what happened. If you're feeling like this is your fault, it's not showing up that way, by the way. It's showing up that you needed to get to safety, or you needed to do for yourself for a change. All right. So this is 7 of Cups. So too many options. Maybe you feel like you chose the wrong option because you had options at that time to do something different. Okay, let's look at it. Another card, please. Yeah. That maybe you picked the wrong person. See, maybe you saw something in them. And that, you know what, that is a great observation. But remember, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, because there's a couple things here. We choose what our parents chose, what we were taught. But this is how we change the generations and the lineage, by going through the lessons and saying, okay, I'm going to look at everything. I'm going to incorporate my lesson so I have a different life, so my children have a different life. And so the review is important. Just be gentle with yourself, because what if it was supposed to go this way so you could learn? Okay? Going to do one more here. So getting past the chaos, and see, what you realize is that nobody could win this battle, and it was best just to walk away. Nobody's going to win. And that's when you left, or you decided to go to safe ground. I just got to go. I just got to heal. Nothing else matters, right? But healing. And changing what you're around. There's just another, there's a double meaning with this card. with your celebration. Just be careful. There's cups here. There's a party. Don't end up out on a boat with two guys, okay? Drinking. Just a little bit of a warning here. So you know, don't free yourself to chain yourself to alcohol or abuse or other people. Okay, don't free yourself to rechain yourself to something else. This is your freedom. Okay, and your children need you if you have children. So that came from someone who needed to hear that. All right, so now we're gonna we're just gonna pull a couple cards and let's look at this positive, this wish here. Let's look at that. Okay. Okay, now to get that, let me do another one. And one more. All right, so to get to this place, you come a long way, and it's all a process. This is what we're learning, okay? The negativity has to be released, okay? The circular thinking about what I should have done, acceptance, you saw it, and moving on, okay? Deal with what you have to deal with, not avoiding it, not saying that at all. And if you can't get the truth, if you have enough truth to make that decision, that may be enough. Maybe someday you'll get the truth. But you've chosen the direction. And so, this thing about control, yes, it is very sad that you worked on this so much and that you had to release it. Yeah, that's incredibly difficult. But sometimes things are being released so you can create the life of your dreams, okay? And you have to do, well, you don't have to do anything, but if you want to meet the person of your dreams, you have to become that person. To be complete without somebody else. And that seems so backwards from the way that maybe we did things before, but this way you're complete. If somebody's got some kind of line or they got something kind of on the down low, you're going to see it because you are living in your integrity. Now, if you're hiding from things and you meet somebody that's hiding from things, you're going to connect better. But if you're living, you know, if you're working on yourself on a regular basis, and when you get the triggers, you work through them, then you'll be able to see those triggers in others. And then you can decide, is this worth my time? And you'll be able to see the path in front of you in that relationship really easy too. So, okay, we're going to do a couple of guidance. These are angel and ancestors guidance cards. So just mostly it's releasing the negativity, understanding the lesson, and just to make peace with it. This is shedding your own skin. Perfect. One more. Heart guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. Okay. When we're facing this, we shut down. We probably shut down a long time before we left the relationship because of what was going on. And remember to live through our heart. Love and let yourself be loved means make choices through your heart, just not through your mind. Sometimes we shut one or the other one down so we don't have the balance. Balance is really important. So shedding the old skin of being afraid, that's where this fear, we got to get past that. This is your old self. Now that you've come this far, you won't make the same choices because you're different. Unless you revert back to your old ways, whether that was some kind of addiction, whether it was codependent, or the same person you're going back to, then you may revert back and actually go down a further spiral. Yes, people can change, but they have to change on their own. And it depends on how many years you had with somebody. And it's hard because... But you need to know this wasn't all your fault. It was part of your lesson, but not your fault. Does that make sense? So, Love and let yourself be loved. Coming from a place in your heart. How do I get there? Okay, let me tell you. Do things you love. If you have children, take them and enjoy things. Find your joy again. You know, connect, go camping, go for walks, and see the joy and beauty and other people, the kind people that are all around us. Spend time with family, but only the positive family. Because, you know, we have some negative family. Everybody does. That's how we get in these negative cycles. But try to set the worry aside. I know, I'm a Gemini. I hear ya. That's my whole thing, is being in my head, right? But opening up to who you are, okay? Because Cancer, you're about the emotions. You're the moon. Moon is emotions. The moon is mother. Mother. The moon is Gaia. Mother, mother. Moon is the abundance. Moon is love. Moon is protection. Allow yourself to be who you are. Shed the old skin of being what other people think you should be and what you think other people want you to be. That just don't create happiness, does it? It's just more dysfunction. So there you go. My thoughts are with you, babe. Bye-bye.